Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome to today's Grand Prix. We are here in Australia at the Great Albert Park Circuit. This 5.303 kilometer 16 turn street track located in the city of Melbourne, just next to Phillip Bay. The track was opened on March 7th, 1996 to the world of Formula One. Since then, this track has never stopped to disappoint us with some incredible moments from its past. Like in 2010 when Jenson Button pit early to put on the slick tires, while everyone else stuck to the wets. Later, Button took his McLaren to first place. Or in 2016 when Fernando Alonso and Esteban Gutierrez collided, resulting in Alonso having a horrific crash. Miraculously, Alonso was unharmed. Hopefully we don't see a crash like that one with any of our drivers today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, strap yourselves in as it is time for the Australian Grand Prix. I'm Broomhandle 914, joined today by my trusted colleague Jadaway. Jadaway, how do you see this race turning out for our talented drivers here today?
Well, I think we're going to be in for a Grand Prix that's a lot unexpected, or a lot more unexpected than we would have had about 10 minutes ago. Throughout qualifying, I've been watching our drivers here, and there's been a lot of mistakes, especially in sectors 2 and 3. We've had a couple collisions already with some big names like McChicken and Where's My Dad, Cool Kids. Already out, McChicken, before he could even set a lap time. So, yeah, we got some really interesting stories heading into this race.
Yeah, we're definitely in for an exciting race here today at the Australian Grand Prix. McChicken out of this race, as you said. And so, very interesting. It looks like he collided with T-Bone. That was earlier before we started the broadcast. But it looks like he's out. So, the championship leader, 49 points ahead of McFuzzy, who won the last race in Bahrain 2 days ago. McChicken actually retired from that race. And so now the gap is slowly decreasing. But hopefully McChicken can pull back and hopefully win this race. Speaking of McChicken, maybe we can invite him to the chat, and so we can talk about what happened out there and hopefully what his strategy is for the race.
Yeah, we'll try and get him on the line as we speak. But I believe also the other collision was between either Brainkiller and Legion hitting Where's My Dad. I am not 100% sure. As we see Hard as Cotton take a sliding big hit into the outside wall, coming through the sweeping left, right in the middle sector there, or start of the third. So lucky he's able to continue still with 4 minutes 38 seconds to go in this qualifying session.
Yeah, it looks like he may have spun over at, what was that corner? Looks like turn 12. He spun that. You can lose the car quite often around that corner. It's very hard to keep the car controlled because you will spin eventually if you end up on the curve. And it looks like Hardest Cotton's actually having a hard time with some wing damage. Doing a little Vettel there as he goes into the grass of turn 15. He's into the pits. Hopefully he can repair that front wing and go out for his pole position lap.
Yeah, I'd say, there's not many really difficult corners to get right. There's just, I'd say, 2 or 3 places where you can lose the car. Like really fast corners. So it's coming through Sector 1. I believe that's turn 5, that right-hand kink right before the end of Sector 1. At the end of Sector 2, beginning of Sector 3, like we saw just there with Hard as Cotton, one thing wrong, one opportunities. This is a really, really good track for side-by-side racing. So I think it's going to be a good one, especially with Chicken, being as far back as he is right now coming through the field. So it's going to be a really, really exciting one out today.
Yeah, it really is going to be an interesting one. Starting his lap, getting a little interrupted there by one of the McLarens there. It looks like Solrak. So we're into a very in part of the championship now. Halfway into our championship order, starting in Britain and then going all the way down to Germany at the Hockenheim Grand Prix. So it's a halfway part at the moment, and hopefully we'll see some interesting championship battles, and especially at this race. Like this week, you can make a dive bomb there. So really awesome to make some overtake spots.
Yeah, that's right. I'd have to say turn 3 is probably most commonly used. But even into right into the second and third sector, there are some really good opportunities to overtake, especially with that third DRS zone now put in play. That's really going to come in handy for people if they want to make a last lap pass. That's the place to do it, I'd say.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We'll have to just wait and see if the drivers are bold enough to make that incredible overtake you're mentioning there. Hopefully McChicken can join us here as we round off qualifying with only 1 minute and 32 seconds to go. Looks like the pole position times, the drivers are getting ready to start their pole position times. Right now, McFuzzy is on provisional pole position with a 1 minute 20.7. Very incredible lap time, I must say.
Yeah, I can tell you that I probably couldn't do that time. Yeah, this track is a really technical track. You got to make sure you hit your apexes, but stay away from the curbs on exit, or else you're gonna loop the car and into the wall. Not really good for your aerodynamics there. But I think we got a really big pack here within a couple tenths of each other. We got 12th to 9th, 8th. Right there from 2.1 to 2.7 seconds. I think that's going to be a really nice pack to watch, as well as the gap between 4th and 7th. You know, hard as cotton, potato, cool kids, brain killer. That pack come race time, that's going to be another exciting pack to watch.